All right, guys, so I just had to show you a little head to toe look here of what my husband Eric is wearing, guys. This dude is wearing a full Builder Bob.
Bob the Builder. That's what you get for making fun of people.
Bob the Builder costume. Eric, what are you doing?
Look, around here the honey-do list is serious. We're filling out work orders, we got invoices, contracts.
You guys see this? This dude has on a, what is
That's
this?
right.
Eric, a tool belt?
You're right, that's right. Today I'm the property brother. Not the property brothers, the property brothers. Let's talk about the design of this room. So a lot of back and forth with my wife about what we wanted this room to look like. So originally, what we thought about, and you guys see the units here, the cube units, right? This is called Kallax from Ikea, K-A-L-L-A-X, okay? All of you have probably seen a version of these before. Now originally, when we were gonna do the room, I thought we were just gonna get one big, like a 5x5, 5 cubes or 6 cubes, just one big Kallax shelf. And my wife, she's Mrs. UnFrumpy Mom, she's like, I don't think that's doing enough. Let's come up with something that's a little bit more creative. I want some mirrors, I want different focal points in the room. So we probably sat down for, what would you say, babe, about an hour, went back and forth and sketched out different things, and we came up with this design.
Yeah, that's about right.
So what you see here, instead of getting one big shelf unit, this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Just right here, this is 5 units.
Wow.
Okay. These are Kallax from Ikea. This is a 2x2, right? So this is 2x2, and it's stacked on top of a 2x4. So we came up with this really simple yet creative stacking design where we could have a slot for the mirrors.
I think the mirror is one of my most favorite parts here in the room.
Yep. So 5 different, now I'm gonna warn you, this cost a little bit more than just getting one big unit. If we'd got one big unit, it probably would have been about half the price of what we paid, but it looks a lot more custom. You also know we did hang a unit. So you can hang these and you just use the brackets. I would say even if you don't hang them, if you've got little ones around the house and you've got a tall unit, you definitely want to bracket these to the wall. A lot of children do get injured when these tip over. But you can hang these. I actually took an extra step and added brackets on the bottom. So Ikea will provide you the brackets to hang them, but I wanted extra support. These are also anchored into the wall. Let me just look at my work order here. So the shelf, right, is from Home Depot. So one of the things I'll show you, we're going to go to some of the different stores in this video. I'm going to take you to Home Depot. We might go to Ikea, look at some of the different units. Home Depot actually has a whole closet design systems that they sell. They not only have systems, but if you go to like their lumber section, they have pre-cut shelf units that are just over by the lumber. They're already painted, so everything's done. We actually thought we were going to have to buy like the shelf and paint it ourselves, but this came pre-painted and pre-done, and this is anchored into the wall and it holds everything else into place. One of the things I'm going to show you guys in this video, Walmart and Target actually sells units just like this, and they're the exact same dimension. So you can shop around a little bit. Walmart and Target actually have some different size units that they sell, some different colors, but they all use these blocks are 13 by 13. These baskets are from Ikea. They're made for this unit, but I think we went to like Home Goods and I just measured. We looked for just accessories that were 13 inches wide. And a lot of the accessories, even though they're from Home Goods, like these boxes, this wood organizer, the shelves over there, looked like they were made for this unit, but they weren't, right? When we went to Home Goods, I took out the ruler, I measured, and I looked for stuff that would fit snugly inside of these units. And once we got to this point, we had space, right, between this unit and our wall here, okay? Now, the space wasn't quite big enough. It's not wide enough where we could fill in another Kallax unit, another unit this side. So what we did was we wanted to still keep the look with this kind of cube theme. We actually checked Target, right? Target, Walmart, all of them sell, they'll call it Closet Made. There are a few different brand names, but Closet Made is the most common brand name you see. These cubes that are Closet Made cubes, a little bit different, a little bit smaller. These are 11 by 11, but they fit in perfectly with the larger 13 by 13. Ikea sells things like, these drawer units, right? Where you can open and have the drawers. So it's a very modular, clean way of designing your space. As a matter of fact, let's give you guys a little bit of a bonus, because one of the things that you might not realize is that we've used this same system in 2 other rooms here in our home. All right, guys, we're back in our son's office. And it may not be obvious, but this desk unit that you see here, this piece here is the exact same component, the Kallax unit that we were looking at in the crash room. Same dimensions, same everything, it's just a different color. I think this is a really great choice for, students, people with offices for a couple of reasons. One, if you have a bookcase, it can be really difficult to keep a bookcase looking clean and tidy. This is a really clean look. The books, the notebooks can fit right into the cubicles. You don't need any bookends. All your supplies, rather than being cluttered in like a desk drawer, you can put them in these baskets. The actual desk unit itself is attached directly to the unit. So we purchased this from Ikea a while back as a single unit. But again, a very flexible design that works really well for any type of home office, home-based business, student situation. Okay guys, so you may remember from some of our other videos, this closet was my first big Ikea project in this house, and it took, I'm gonna say, roughly 5 years off my life. No, seriously. This closet took a while to build out. Now this is not Kallax, this is a different type of unit. I would say the Kallax units, the individual units, probably take about 20 minutes to put together. They're really easy. These I believe are called packs. These take a little bit longer. So this closet we did not do in Kallax, not this part of it, but here recently I did add some storage. And this is that same Kallax unit. And this is the exact same unit that's downstairs, that's in my son's office. It's just tipped over on its side, right? But this is that 2x4 unit with the 13-inch baskets. And you may recall what I did differently, and this shows kind of the flexibility, right? Use your creativity. I put handles on this unit so we could move it around, right? And then at the bottom, I added wheels. There's so many accessories. There's so many places to buy these. You can buy things like the wheels. Ikea has a great selection of different baskets, different shelves and drawers you can buy. Let's go online and look at the things that Ikea offers for these units. And not only Ikea, let's look at, let's say, what Target and Walmart offer. So what we're gonna do now is look at the various stores, retailers, and components that you can use to put together this cube-based storage, closet, crash room, office, living room design system. We're gonna start at Ikea, who of course is well known for this type of furniture. And the key here is creativity. So, in the picture we see here, nice looking unit. They've added some baskets and some books and some accessories, but not a whole lot of creativity. They've just kind of used one unit by itself. We're going to really focus on treating this almost like Legos, like adult Legos, where you stack these and mix and match them to come up with some really creative designs. The dimension you want to remember throughout this video is 13 by 13. And that is to say, when you look at these individual boxes, these blocks that are inside of the units, they're all 13 inches by 13 inches. And that's going to be key because that's the main dimension we're going to focus on. We're going to look at another type of unit in a few minutes, but we're going to start out with this 13 by 13 cube design. Comes in a few different dimensions. Here we've got a 2 by 2. Here we've got a 1 by 4. Here we've got 2 cubes by 4 cubes. And we've even got a 4 by 4 design. We actually used one of these in the past in one of our former homes. We thought about using just this basic design in the crash room, but we felt like, it's a nice unit, but it wouldn't really stand out. It wouldn't be, this basic kind of overall square shape that you see here wouldn't stand out enough. We wanted something that was a little bit more eye-catching. Certainly, the nice things about these units is you can be very creative. You can have baskets, boxes, shelves, cabinets, right? You can be very flexible in terms of how you design them. You can also, and we've shown this in our home, right? We've got a version that's on wheels. If you want to be able to move it around, maybe change your configuration, change your office design periodically, put it up on wheels. In our son's room, he has it tied into his desk. This is an excellent design for students where you might need to, store papers and books, and also have that surface area for your computer. So a lot of flexibility here. Let's focus in on kind of the basic 2 by 2 unit here. So we'll click on this. And what's nice about these websites, they do give you some design ideas, but you also definitely want to check out sites like Pinterest. People can be really creative. You can mount these on the wall. As you saw in our crash room, we did mount one of these units. Certainly you want to be careful, especially if you have young ones around, you want to make sure it's mounted very firmly. I actually also included brackets on the bottom to give it that extra level of security. Here you also have the inserts, the 2-drawer inserts, the 1-drawer inserts. We use both of these. It probably took me about 10 minutes to put the inserts together, maybe 20 minutes, if that, to put together, the single 2x2 unit. So Ikea, I think, is kind of thought of as the granddaddy of this design, right? And, they have it for $35, and you want to remember that number. Next, we're going to look at Target's version. And lo and behold, if we kind of backtrack here a little bit, Target has their own brand of this same 13 by 13 cube design. So they also have these shelf designs where these cubes are 13 by 13, and their brand is called Threshold. So if we compare, the Ikea version was $34.99, and of course you see Target is wanting to be price competitive. Theirs is also $34.99. So of course that's on sale. So who knows, if you wait until the sale is over, you might not get that price. But of course, not everybody has an Ikea in their town. I think, at least here in the States, Target is probably a little bit more common than Ikea. So you do have options here at Target. They also have some different dimensions. I don't think Ikea has the 1x2 designs. Now, what's interesting here is you've got the 13-inch shelves, but now we can start to see the 11-inch. So that's kind of the other variation that you commonly see, the 11-inch units. So in our craft room design, we predominantly used the 13-inch model, but we did have one space where we used the 11-inch, where that's what had the best fit. So you can mix and match these. You'll see Closet Made sells these. You have the Room Essentials brand, they sell these. And they have baskets for both. So you'll see the 11-inch baskets and the 13-inch baskets at Target, certainly at Ikea, and even at Walmart. So Walmart has the same product line. Theirs is called Better Homes and Garden, or from the Better Homes and Garden product line. So again, you've got a few different choices. If you don't have an Ikea or don't have a Target, I guarantee you've got a Walmart in your town. And obviously you can order these online. I think Walmart and Target tend to offer more color selection. So you have more colors. They've got, again, some good design ideas. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, where, kind of stack them, mix and match, come up with, use your creativity. And they're just so flexible. You can use them for end tables, nightstands, storage, offices, whatever the case may be. Very flexible system. And what I like about them is they don't, look cheap. A lot of times when you try to buy, inexpensive furniture and inexpensive designs, it can look kind of cheap. But, these don't look cheap. Walmart also sells the fabric bins. This is the 11-inch variety, so you can purchase the 11-inch or 13-inch bins. So if we look at more of the 11-inch, so this looks the same, but don't let appearances fool you. These cubes are 11 inches, so this is the Closet Made. Cubes are slightly smaller, but essentially serve the same purpose and the same function. Not quite as sturdy as the larger ones. These kind of tend to look more like storage than they do furniture. So I don't know that I would do a whole room full of these. If you do, you just got to be careful to make sure you get some nice baskets and kind of accessorize it really well. Now, as you saw in our crash room, we were primarily able to use mostly the 13-inch cubicle units. We had one 11-inch, but we did need a little bit of extra shelving. And that's where a store like Home Depot or Lowe's comes into play, because Home Depot and Lowe's will sell full closet organization systems. So, if you feel like you're up for the challenge, you can kind of do your own California closets design. But if you don't want to, fully build something like this from scratch, you don't have to, but you can do maybe pieces of it, right? So maybe you don't do the entire closet, but maybe you do some of the 13-inch cube designs on one wall, and then maybe on another wall you build a unit like this, right? Or, do this starter closet kit. And, because everything is, and white is probably going to be the easiest color. If you do everything in white, you don't have to worry about matching up the different wood grains. So you can, again, mix and match these designs. And they have, full closet components. Or you might just do a shelf, right? We just went to Home Depot and just needed this top shelf. So being able to go and buy the shelf and mix and match that with the cubes is what we found was really helpful. Even integrating something like this closet organizer, right? So really your only limit is your imagination. Don't feel like you're just going to go and get kind of the standard 4x4 unit. Really plan out and draw your design, talk about it with your significant other, kind of figure out what you're looking for. And you can take what really is kind of an inexpensive piece of furniture and build it out into something that looks really custom and could rival even what you would get from a California Closets. When you're doing a closet or kitchen project, you can expect to have some returns at IKEA. Always keep your receipt. They can find it. You can return stuff without a receipt, but you have to know what credit card and what date, and that can be kind of hard. So always keep your IKEA receipts, but we're returning this shelf because it's not going to be part of our design. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next time, stay UnFrumpy.